Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ice-Burgh Recap, your home for Pittsburgh Penguins game recaps and analysis. You can find us on YouTube, on Inside the Penguins, or anywhere you get your podcast from. Final score in this one, Pittsburgh Penguins 2, Carolina Hurricanes 1 in the shootout. Top storyline in this one was, the Penguins struggling to get over the hump of the Carolina Hurricanes coming into this one. 5 straight losses to their division rival. 4 of those 5 games decided by a single goal. This one was no different, but it falls in favor of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Pittsburgh committed early to keeping this game low scoring, and they succeeded in that commitment. Only 24 shots on goal allowed by the Penguins. Alex Nedeljkovic did have to make some pretty star-studded saves, but he once again stood tall for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And then they just followed the lead of their captain, Sidney Crosby, willing them to victory in this one, as we'll get to in the next couple of minutes. But when you looked at the team defense, the holistic defense that the Pittsburgh Penguins committed to playing in this game, it was forwards getting back routinely. It was defensemen trying to keep the house clean, which is that little area in front of Alex Nedeljkovic. In this one, almost said Tristan Jarry, and also limiting the odd man rushes. A lot of the odd man rushes that they did get in this game, they being the Carolina Hurricanes, were shut down by a returning forward, I should say, on the back check, whether that be Valtteri Puustinen, who did it on a couple of occasions, whether that be Sidney Crosby, who did it on several occasions in this game. The Penguins did a good job at making sure that Alex Nedeljkovic was relatively safe in this game from high danger chances. A good job to try to shut down and slow down the Carolina Hurricanes. Let's get into the goal recap. This shouldn't take very long. Only 2 goals in regulation. Pittsburgh Penguins started it off early, about 8 minutes into this one. Sidney Crosby gets his 19th goal of the season. Assists go to Rickard Rakell and Jake Gensel. Good to see that line combining for a goal in their second game together of the year. Rakell picks up his 5th assist of the season. Jake Gensel gets his 21st assist of the season. Penguins controlled most of the first period. It was back and forth. It was low event, but the Pittsburgh Penguins seemed to be in the game very well. But late in the second period, Carolina Hurricanes' speed just started to become an issue for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and eventually they capitalized on that. Teuvo Teravainen gets his 12th goal of the season after sending a cross-crease pass into the middle of into the front of the net, I should say, but it bounces off of Chris Letang's skate and gets past Alex Nedeljkovic. Jack Drury and Jacob Slavin pick up the assist on that one. It was 1-1, and from that point on, it seemed like Carolina might have controlled the pace of play, but the Penguins, again, were doing a good job of team defense, making sure that Alex Nedeljkovic saw all the shots that came on net and limiting the opportunities for the Carolina Hurricanes to get rebounds, second and third chances. A good job by the Penguins in their own zone tonight. Third period goes scoreless. Overtime goes scoreless. Into the shootout. The only goal scorer in the shootout came from the Pittsburgh Penguins. And once again, it's Sidney Crosby coming up big for the Pittsburgh Penguins, going bar down on Pyotr Kochetkov. That was the lone goal. Right after that, a couple of saves by Alex Nedeljkovic sealed it, and the Pittsburgh Penguins get their first victory over the Carolina Hurricanes since March 13th of 2022. 3 stars in this one. There's really 2 stars in this one, and the third one I had to kind of dig for a little bit, looking at the numbers, looking at the stats, looking at the feel of the game, looking at my game notes. Third star is going to go to the third pairing for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Chad Ruhwedel and John Ludwig. This is only their second game together as a pairing, and in a game where everybody seemingly was outskated by the Pittsburgh Penguins, was outshot by the Pittsburgh Penguins, was outchanced on the Pittsburgh Penguins. This pairing finished positive in a lot of underlying categories. 69% of the expected goals went on the ice at 5-on-5, 58% of the shot attempts, not to mention that both of them factored in on the penalty kill, going perfect for the second straight game. Just 8 minutes of ice time at 5-on-5 for John Ludwig and Chad Ruhwedel. But again, when you're put out there, especially when you're only put out there for 8 minutes, you have to make those 8 minutes count, and you cannot let your team down whenever you'll get that little of ice time. You have to do your job in that small sample size to ensure that when the big guns get back on the ice, the Carlsons, who had over 25 minutes of ice time, the Letangs, who had over 25 minutes of ice time, they're not behind the 8 ball because you messed up on one of your few shifts that you got in the game. So a solid job by Ruhwedel and Ludwig. Excited to see what they're able to do as they continue to grow together and the Penguins continue to look to solidify that defensive standing. Second star of the game, and this could have gone either way. Second star I'm going to give to Alex Nedeljkovic. The Penguins netminder was solid from early on in this game, and from early on it seemed like he was going to have to be. Fortunately, the Penguins stepped up defensively, made sure that he was rather sheltered when it comes to the shots on goal. And also, he did a good job of sheltering himself by limiting the rebound opportunities from swallowing up pucks and from making sure that he got faceoffs whenever his team needed it. Will officially go down with 1 goal allowed in this game, but like I mentioned, that goal was ticky-tack deflection off of Chris Letang. It was just thrown to the front of the net by Teuvo Teravainen. It just bounced off Letang and redirected what seemed to be harmlessly, but right into the back of the net. So obviously all bounces count, all goals count, but Alex Nedeljkovic was as close to a shutout as you could get, including going 3 for 3 in the shootout and a glove save to end it once again on Teuvo Teravainen. So he gets his revenge on that one. But 23 saves on 24 shots. Alex Nedeljkovic looking really good for the Pittsburgh Penguins, as we'll talk about on Ice-Burgh To Go a little bit later today. First star of this game and the first star of the season for the Pittsburgh Penguins, without a doubt, is Sir Sidney Crosby. Sidney Patrick Crosby continues to will this team to victory. Scored the Pens' lone goal in regulation and the lone goal in the shootout, as I mentioned a few minutes ago. Led the team and led the entire game with 4 shots on goal. Nobody else had more than 2 in this game. Sidney Crosby, not to mention, hit a crossbar in overtime, which could have ended it right then and there on the Pittsburgh Penguins power play. But unfortunately, that one didn't go in. He just had to wait to go bar down in the shootout and make sure the Pittsburgh Penguins secured their 4th victory in their last 5 games. Crosby's on pace for 51 goals this season now. He has 19 in the team's first 31 games. So on pace for 50 or 51 goals right now. If he gets to 51, that ties his career high. When he got that career high was 2009, 2010, when he was 22 years old. The man is 36 years old and doing stuff that we have not seen in a very, very long time from him as far as the amount of goals that he's putting in the back of the net. Now, there's a little story going around, and it was on 32 Thoughts, the blog from Elliot Friedman of Sportsnet, that said Sidney Crosby is toying around with his equipment, something that he doesn't do very often, that he does very small at points, but seemingly he's trying to figure something out to score more goals, and seemingly it's working for the Penguins captain. You can obviously check out 32 Thoughts, the blog, that has more information on that. But Sidney Crosby continues to lead this team to victories, continues to put this team on his back, and it's not just on the offensive side of the puck. Like I mentioned earlier, he was back checking like a menace. He's leading the NHL in faceoff wins, and we all know how much Mike Sullivan values faceoff wins. The Pittsburgh Penguins still have their captain playing at a very high level. Now they need not waste it and continue to win these games, making sure they get back into the postseason. But that is a story for a different day. That is a storyline to follow as the season progresses. Sidney Crosby, great performance against the Carolina Hurricanes. Penguins get the 2-1 shootout victory, their 4th victory in 5 games. Up next for the Pittsburgh Penguins, one last game before the Christmas break. They only get a 4-day Christmas break this year. Usually it's 5 or 6 days, but they play on the 23rd, and then they'll play once again on the 27th. On the 23rd, they head up to Ottawa to take on Jacques Martin and the Ottawa Senators. Last game before the holiday break. It'd be great if they could go into the holiday break on a 3-game win streak, winners of 5 of their last 6. It'd be a good confidence boost for this team heading into the new year and heading into the Christmas holiday. But we'll have to wait and see how they perform against the Senators, because similar to coming into this game against Carolina, they have not performed well against the Senators this year or last year. We'll have to wait and see what they're able to do up in Ottawa. But as of right now, Penguins winners of 4 of 5. Sidney Crosby looking good. Alex Nedeljkovic looking good. Team defense looking pretty good as well. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Ice-Burgh Recap. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, you can find us on YouTube at Inside the Penguins or anywhere you get your podcasts